Good luck. Either Lamar's keeping it on this or he's giving it to the big fella. Either way, it ain't fun for a defense, huh?
You're a prisoner of the moment, but I love what we saw. I think it is tough.
What do you mean I'm a prisoner of the moment?
I mean, it means that you're always caught up in what happens today. We still have a whole slate of games tomorrow and on Monday. But I will say this. The Baltimore Ravens, how much did we criticize them last year about the lack of running in the AFC Championship game?
You know how many times they handed to a running back that game?
6.
6 is
correct.
correct.
And I was one of the ones, my old coach, Todd Monken, who was with me in Jacksonville, I was one who said, you have to run the football. Well, this is the recipe, right? If you look at the teams that won today, 25 or more carries for the running back is the recipe to win these games because you're controlling the line of scrimmage. And to be honest, the match made in heaven that we saw from Lamar Jackson and Derrick Henry, that you showed it tonight. This is what marriage counseling does for you.
Whoa.
Everybody gets on the same page, right? Lamar's like, look, I'm going to hand it to Derrick a couple times. Early in the game, I'm going to pull it and force you to have to cover me. Then we get the big run there. To me, Todd Monken had a great game plan going in, executed perfectly by both Derrick Henry, the offensive line, and Lamar Jackson.
Can I tell you that, listen, it's no big surprise when the Ravens signed Derrick Henry. You were like, okay, still pretty good running back. Don't know why the Dallas Cowboys don't want him.
Or the Titans, but there's neither here nor
there. Or the Titans. But he has made such a difference when you look at the leading running back rushers by the Ravens in terms of playoff games with Lamar. Let's see here. How many did Derrick Henry have? 186? 186? I think if you add up all those numbers, I'm not so sure it gets to 186. Not exactly, but you understand what I'm getting at. You were the math major at UCLA.
Yeah,
but you understand
it's about 200.
Yeah, you understand my point.
Quick math.
Right? You understand my point about it.
Again, you're talking about a guy who we call the unicorn, right? 6'3", 250 pounds. When it's cold in Baltimore, to be able to hand the ball off, to be able to do wildcat. You see how he's breaking arm tackles? He's getting downfield. Like, that's wearing down the defense. Having to tackle this guy over and over again. Have to get off those blocks by the offensive line. I mean, again, it's just tough. And then to be able not only have to tackle him, but then have to look at Lamar. You actually have, we always talk about running backs having thunder and lightning, right? The bigger back, and then the fast guy that comes in next. You got those guys on the field at the same time.
I like that.
It's a perfect storm.
Okay, so let me ask you this one. Baltimore's best. Is it better than any team left in the NFL?
That's tough to say, man. A team just went 15-1, and I'm talking about
15-2.
15-2. Yeah, I didn't count the last.
I get it. I get it.
Yeah, you know, 15. Let's say 15-1, just for.
Just look at the teams, though. You tell me with the way that the defense turned things around the last 6 weeks of the season, including this playoff game. Doesn't Baltimore's best beat any team out there?
You still have to beat. You have to beat the champs for me to say you have to. You have to.
You're so cliche.
You have to beat them. No one's beaten the Kansas City Chiefs when it's mattered except for one team. And guess what? That team didn't get into the playoffs. So you have to beat the Kansas City Chiefs when it matters most. I think Josh Allen said it best. When they beat the Kansas City Chiefs at home today, he goes, "It's just a regular season. It only matters when the playoffs count." And that, to me, is all that matters. As great as the Baltimore Ravens have been playing, defensively, offensively, special teams, the kicker's back on track, all that's awesome. You got to put all that together in one game against the Kansas City Chiefs. The question is, can you do it? We don't know.
Okay. The good news is they're either going to play host to the Houston Texans or they'll be at Buffalo in the divisional round next weekend. So we'll get to continue to find out, and the narrative will continue. In the meantime, the season does not continue for the Pittsburgh Steelers. It's been since the 2016 season that they have won a playoff game.
Yeah.
Where do they go from here? Is it as simple as they've got to continue to try to upgrade the quarterback situation, and can they do that?
Well, I believe that they have to get into the new phase of offense.
What does that mean?
New phase of offense, meaning explosive plays, play action pass, not just deep balls down the field, creating those plays with your scheme, creating those plays off a play action pass. That last 4th and 15, if they would have ran a dagger route, which is a deep end, it would have been wide open with Calvin Austin kind of going down the middle of the field. We don't see that, but you see it from the Detroit Lions. You see it from the Green Bay Packers. You see it from the Tampa Bay Buccaneers and Los Angeles Rams.
But isn't that a talent thing?
Well, no, I just think it's a schematic thing. They have the skill set, the pieces to go out there and make plays. I believe that you have to get in the new phase of offense. And you saw what the Baltimore Ravens did 2 years ago. They said, look, we got to go get a play caller that kind of understands today's times. Todd Monken was with the University of Georgia, won back-to-back national titles, comes in, you see the zone read. Russell can still do that. There's certain things that you have to be able to do, and I thought Arthur Smith started to do it late in the early in the third quarter, getting Russell on the move with some play-action pass. Where was that in the beginning? Moving the pocket, protecting your quarterback. It was none of that. It was just downhill, drop back, quick passes. That's not going to help the Pittsburgh Steelers. That's not going to help this defense, right? This defense is built to play with a lead and get after the quarterback. They can stop the run early, but they get worn down a little bit. If you can find a way to get up with the times, the offensive times a little bit more, I think you'll have a ton of success.
You think they can win right now with the team presently is constructed with Russell Wilson?
Yes.
I just want to make sure I'm hearing this right.
Yes,
because in their 5-game losing streak, and that's how the season ended, they averaged 14 points per game offensively.
And again, like, as I said, it's about the schematics of it. It's about the scheme. Look at what Liam Cohen did with the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Baker Mayfield threw for 44 touchdowns.
Well, I think it was 41, but
41?
I think so.
It was over 40.
It was over 40.
It was over 40.
Over 40.
He's a man, he's 40. To me, Russell Wilson still has that ability to do that. You have pieces. This offense, you have 3 tight ends, you have 2 running backs, you have multiple receivers that can go. You have a big offensive line that you've invested draft capital in and free agency, right? Why can't you find a way to get this team going? Like, to me, again, you got to get with the OC, and I'm not saying Arthur Smith can't do it. I'm not saying that. I've seen him perform. Again, I'm a Jacksonville fan, so what he did in Tennessee was awesome. But Derrick Henry's not walking through that door. A.J. Brown is not on your roster. You need to get with a guy that can do a little bit more with what you have.
Okay. You want to help explain this?
Yeah. They play some really good teams
But that's who you have to beat in the playoffs.
That's what I'm trying to tell you. If you have an offensive guy that's with the... Look at the teams that I'm telling you to go with. The Green Bay Packers offense, the Tampa Bay Buccaneers. Look at even Atlanta when they put Michael Penix in, how explosive that looked the last couple of weeks. They have to get with the new kind of offense that teams are running.
Do you want to do the full highlight of the game?
I'm ready to go. I mean, you're trying to get me riled up, and I told myself
it's not a question of getting you riled up. I'm here to ask you questions.
Yeah, but
I like the way your brain works sometimes. I don't know what you
this energy today.
Huh?
Bringing this energy right now.
I know. We had a couple of games that didn't have a ton of energy. You need to supply the energy, and I like that about you.
Okay, I like that about you.
Ready?
I like that you like to ask questions.
Okay, good.
That's why it works.
Well,
sometimes.
That's kind of the job description.
All right.
Ready for highlights?
I'm ready.
Here we go. Lamar Jackson. Is he about to be a 3-time MVP?
No question.
Russell Wilson? Can he snap a 4-game skid? Can he get him a playoff win for the first time since 2016 season? Scoreless in the first. Direct snap. Big fella. How are you going to stop this? How are you going to
first you got to attack
Hey, Minka,
the legs.
give it. Oh, no. He did not.
You got to attack. You know Derrick Henry and the stiff arms coming out in the open field. You got to attack the legs. Minka tried to go and be conservative. That's always tough to deal with. Look at Lamar.
He had more than 1,900 rushing yards this season. That's the most by a guy who didn't win the rushing title. 3 plays later.
Kênh YouTube của mình, những video của mình tạo là những video tô mò đây. Và hôm nay mình sẽ lại tô mò những con vật cho các bạn xem này. Đây, những sản phẩm của mình. Đây là những sản phẩm mình chưa tô nha. Sản phẩm mình tô xong thì nó sẽ có những màu sắc như thế này, các bạn ạ. Đấy. Mình sẽ tô rất nhiều những sản phẩm này. Đấy. Và để tô được những sản phẩm của mình không thể thiếu được hộp xăm màu. Đây là xăm màu nha. Và bây giờ các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô màu sản phẩm nha.
그냥 식대를 또 말이야.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã đến với kênh YouTube của mình. Những video của mình tạo là những video tô mò đây. Và hôm nay mình sẽ lại tô mò những con vải cho các bạn xem này. Đây, những sản phẩm của mình. Đây là những sản phẩm mình chưa tô nha. Sản phẩm mình tô xong thì nó sẽ có những màu sắc như thế này này các bạn ạ. Đấy. Mình sẽ tô rất nhiều những sản phẩm này. Đấy. Và để tô được những sản phẩm của mình không thể thiếu được hộp sam màu. Đây là sam màu nha. Và bây giờ các bạn hãy cùng theo dõi mình tô một sản phẩm nha.
Mình sẽ tiếp tục tô nha các bạn. Tô xong là được.
Xin chào tất cả các bạn đã